Parrish. Welcome back to CBS Sports Eye on College Basketball Podcast, where we sometimes discuss camel fighting, dodo birds, leaky black. The Eye on College Basketball Podcast, it is presented by Jersey Mike's, proud sponsor of the Naismith Award. Jersey Mike's would like to offer their congratulations to all of the athletes on the watch list. Matt Norlander is here with me. So is Kyle Boone. It's a three-man Eye on College Basketball Podcast for you on this Friday. If you're watching on YouTube, honor Brandon Davies, smash that like button. And if you haven't yet subscribed to the CBS Sports Eye on College Basketball Podcast, please also do that wherever you listen to podcasts like Spotify and Apple. Let's get into it. And the place to start, I think, is Mackey Arena, where Purdue hosted Michigan State in Thursday's best game. Final score, Spartans 76, Boilermakers 74. That's a quad one win on the road. Purdue led by as many as 7 in the first half, by 3 at the break, but still found itself down 8 with only 3:44 remaining. Regardless, Braden Smith, the preseason CBS Sports National Player of the Year, he had the ball in his hands in the final seconds with a chance to win. He launched from 30 feet. Felt longer, but officially it was 30 feet. He missed. Game over. Norlander, let's start with the final shot. Did you approve of that pull, or did you want something different and less so far away from the basket?
Not a good final shot. Gonna be a big show today, by the way, folks. We're gonna get to you. The reason why I'm laughing is I see no escalators in the live chat. We're getting to that, don't you? There are UConn fans already ready.
We're already doing this.
We're UConn. That's the B block, folks. Let's deal with the big game from Thursday night. Okay. Yeah. But let's already get into it. Oh, this is going to be a fun Friday show here. That was not the shot I wanted. Give credit to, if I'm a Purdue fan, it's not the shot I wanted, not the shot I expected. Give credit to Michigan State. This is a very, very good defensive team that had a very good defensive night and said, we're not letting Purdue crack 80 on its home floor. And not only that, we're not going to let them get the shot they want. I think they were trying to feed it into Trey Kaufman-Renn for that final possession. Proper walling up. Great job by Carson Cooper, who had himself a very nice night. And so not a lot of time on the clock. And I don't know if that was option 2 or 3, but Braden Smith finds himself way further away from the 10 than he wants to be. He has to launch. It doesn't go in. 76-74 Sparty to get Michigan State to 23-5. Get the win over Purdue to put them ahead of Purdue in the standings. This is the only scheduled meeting between these teams this season. And so as a result, Michigan State now has a key tiebreaker for Purdue for the triple bye. Yes, triple bye, because there's 18 teams going to the Big Ten tournament. And so that would mean Michigan State, if it can hold this, would not have to play in the Big Ten bracket until that Friday, whereas Purdue now, it's 12-5. It might be getting going on Thursday. Purdue has now lost 4 times this season at Mackey Arena. This was the preseason #1 team. If you gave me the over-under of 1.5 losses 4 months ago at that building by Purdue, I would have easily taken the under. And if you gave me over under 0.5, I would have given real thought that take the under there. It's 4. That's the most since the 2019-20 season. This team, listen, it was a heck of a game. 12 lead changes, 7 ties, enjoyable watch. Braden Smith passes 1,000 assists in the game, but he can't hit the big shot to win it for Purdue. Purdue is now taking on enough losses here where it's kind of like, games are at home. Are you really in the tier of teams that can win a national championship? I think that is now fair to ask. The losses are to good teams. They don't have a single bad loss on the resume. Even the ones at Indiana, at UCLA, they were close. They were quad one. Indiana might not be a tournament team, but there's some questions there. KB, take it away. Your thoughts on anything, game-wise, big picture. It's all you.
Yeah, obviously not a good loss for Purdue. As you mentioned, they're 12-4 at home on the season, which is, again, you mentioned preseason #1 team. Stunning to go 12-4 at home at this point in the season. It's not a bad loss to a really quality Michigan State team. And I think probably the story was more Michigan State just taking this game, not necessarily Purdue losing. Although, to GP's point, maybe not the best shot to potentially in that game. Braden Smith hailing it from somewhere in Indianapolis. Jeremy Fears was awesome, 12 points, 6 assists. I thought he controlled the game. And in the second half, Michigan State's defense kind of took over. That to me was the story. I have continued to kind of bang this drum, guys, of like, Purdue is better than its record suggests, but they've continued to take on like these not necessarily great losses. They're 22-6 on the season. They've lost to, UCLA, Indiana. And so, yeah, it feels like kind of time is running out a little bit for this Boilermakers team. Matt Painter after the game, like basically said there was a couple possessions there where like our turnovers led to pick sixes, which was like Michigan State just converting to easy buckets and transition. They've had some defensive lapses at various points throughout the season, including in those losses, including last night. I'm not totally panicked on Purdue, and I feel like if they can figure things out, they're going to be a sneaky like 3-4 seed in the NCAA tournament. That's a team that I'm probably going to be picking further than many people expect. But last night just another loss at home that like probably not a lot of people would have expected coming into the season.
He launched from Harry and Izzy's.
That's right.
Braden Smith, he launched from Harry and Izzy's.
I don't feel like it was that far. You need like borderline half court for me, but that's just me.
Like in all seriousness, when you are like a 6-foot guard and Cohen Carr is in front of you,
yeah,
that is one reason to pull from 30. Like
no question.
Because if you can't get by him, the closer you get to him, you're trying to shoot over him, and you're not doing that. So, like that is why you pull from 30, because he's like 50-inch vertical. If it falls, it's an all-time highlight.
Yes,
but in truth, it wasn't close. I think the story is exactly what you just touched on. 4 losses at home, like that's crazy. Mm-hmm. I looked this up last night because I focused on it in the top 25 and 1 this morning. North Carolina is like famously at this point maybe the most disappointing preseason number 1 team of all time, right? A few years ago, I think it was 2022-23, preseason number 1, they missed the NCAA tournament. Now, let me be clear. Purdue's not missing the NCAA tournament. Purdue's going to be a top 4 seed in the NCAA tournament probably. But that North Carolina team, the one that was preseason number 1 and missed the NCAA tournament, lost 3 times at home. Purdue lost 4. Yeah. And then it's not just that. They also have, like you noted, a loss to a UCLA team that is similarly or is disappointing relative to preseason ranking, and then to an Indiana team that might miss the NCAA tournament. So whatever Purdue's problems are, they are smaller than most people's problems. Let's be clear. But this isn't what we expected. I to Norlander's point, you could have any odds you want. Purdue loses 4 home games this season. No chance. Like that's not happening. See, who got hurt? Who died? But that roster is not losing. That roster and that coach is not losing 4 times inside Mackey. And yet we've watched them do it, and it's not even March yet. That's pretty surprising.
Yeah, it is. And we'll see like how Purdue truly responds down the stretch here. At Ohio State, at Northwestern, home Wisconsin. Like if you are the team we think you are, you win those 3, go into the Big Ten tournament. I'm not even saying win the Big Ten tournament, but can you reach the semis, kind of restore a little bit of your reputation? Purdue has taken a big picture image hit as a result of just its overall record. It was expected to be a team that was going to be in the mix to be a 1 seed. That's now done. Like never say never, but Purdue would literally have to run the table and get significant help to get to the 1 line. That's off the table now. Can you hold on to a 2? As a result of the win last night, oh, by the way, Michigan State, which won in this building for the first time since 2014, and there had been some really agonizing losses to Purdue in Mackey. It ends that. MSU jumps from the 4 line to the 3 line, and rightfully so. This is a Sparty team now that is a win at home over Arkansas, has a win against North Carolina down in Fort Myers on Thanksgiving. Opened up the season with, I thought, was a very tone-setting important win in the Big Ten by beating Iowa by almost 20. Has a win over, what else is there a good one? Has the home win over Illinois. That was the big one that I was trying to pull from my mind there. And then they get the Purdue one here on the road. I thought a very crucial win for Sparty's hopes of being a 3 seed or better. It's got at Indiana on CBS on Sunday, home to Rutgers, and then at Michigan, as always, to wrap the regular season against the rival. So we'll see if they can manage a 2-1 run after this before they go into the Big Ten tournament. But credit to Sparty for getting it done. Jeremy Fears, it wasn't just, this was actually the game itself was a very wonderful game to watch. Like a lot of lead changes, really just both teams just trading blows. Cohen Carr is the best in-game dunker in all of basketball, period. I cannot get enough of this guy. I think he's probably going to return to college for a senior season. I want him in the dunk contest next year regardless. Make the exception. I don't care. He needs to be in the dunk contest. He needs to literally save the NBA dunk contest. But it was a well spread out, well played game. And I had a good time watching it. That was a nice pop on a Thursday when we haven't had a lot of men's D1 games that have kind of been must-see stuff on Thursdays this season. That was a nice change of pace.
You mentioned the Big Ten tournament, 18 teams. Is that what you said is in the bracket?
Yes, unfortunately, yes.
I got to get my Memphis Tigers in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
They're at risk of missing the American tournament. I got to get them in a Big Ten.
Yeah, some way, somehow. I mean, this feels like a conversation for about a week from now. We don't need 18 teams going to these tournaments in 18-team leagues.
What's one more? What's one more?
Hey, you're saying that as a non-Memphis alum.
Yeah.
I do need 18 teams.
It is a
conference tournament.
Dude, you start those games on those Mondays and Tuesdays, friends and family special. Okay. It's going to make the Thanksgiving week tournaments in random locales look packed by comparison. Not good ball.
Hey, down here, we need 18 teams in a conference tournament. I don't know if you've been paying attention. It's getting rough. It's getting rough down here. Hey, the Big East showed. Hey, first off, I should promote. Let me take a chance to promote.
Go ahead.
All right. Next up for Michigan State, that's at Indiana.
Yep.
2:45.
Okay, there we go.
p.m. Central.
America's Most Watched
3:45 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. Next up for Purdue, that's a 1:30 Eastern tip at Ohio State, also on CBS. That's America's Most Watched Network. ESPN, if you're listening, and you know I love you guys, but I want you to pay attention to something that we did here. We're going to tip one of these games at 1:30, and then the other one's going to tip at 3:45. You see how we put that extra 15 minutes in there?
Yep.
It's called programming.
It's called programming. And are we still going to slide the tip an extra 9 minutes for no reason?
We gotta slide a tip, more of us.
Probably. We're probably going to slide the tip for no great reason. All right. But we factored in those 15 minutes, and you guys never do. And that's a forever.
It's that little yellow bar on the bottom right of the screen.
I know. Hey, I know I can go to ESPN News and watch the beginning of this game. I got it. All right. Buddy, I've already got ESPN News up on the screen over here because I know where I'm going to start watching. I know in a minute I'm going to watch this game on an 80-inch television right here. But the first 4 minutes, I'm on a little 28-incher over here with no volume. I know exactly how my Saturday goes every Saturday. We got an extra 15 minutes in there. It's America's Most Watched Network. You think that's a coincidence? You think you become America's Most Watched Network by not building in an extra 15 minutes in there?
That's not how you do it.
That's not how you do it.
By the way, we don't have an extra 15 minutes on the show. GP is seriously going to threaten
you to rush me along.
He is going to have to leave the show before it's over today. I can already tell.
I was waiting for you to rush me along.
B block. Let's go.
Hey, Big East Showdown, the one we were all looking forward to this week. That was a clunker. Shame on you, UConn. You ruined the Big East Showdown. That was so boring. I had my whole little guys baseball team gathered around the TV. It's a Big East Showdown. They said, GP, I thought you said this was good. I thought you said this was a good game. I said it was good on paper. I didn't know what it was going to be on the court. UConn smacked St. John's by 1 billion. Norlander was there. He stared at me straight into my television via SportsCenter. The whole thing was weird. Hey, we're going to do that next. Let's get a word from our partners.
When you need your sports news all the time,
we've got breaking news to bring to you.
CBS Sports HQ gives you a snapshot of all the sports that matter to you. When you need your sports in a snap, find it on CBS Sports HQ. Streaming free anywhere you are.
Big East Showdown we were all looking forward to. It was a total letdown. Final score, UConn 72. St. John's 40? 40? 40?
You lose.
40? They shot 19.6% from the field.
Let's go live to GP's living room after he picked St. John's as his Final Four dark horse.
So should
19.6%. They had an 0 for 12 stretch in the first half. They missed their final 24 shots in the game. Like that doesn't even sound real. That sounds like a lie, but it's true. I think that's what I wrote in the top 25 and 1. It sounds like a lie. Like if somebody told you, did you watch St. John's last night? You're like, no, what happened? They missed their last 24 shots. They attempted to put the ball in the rim 24 times and it's just none of them went in. That's right. It doesn't even sound like it could be true. Norlander, you were there. I know that in part because you made a hilarious appearance on SportsCenter.
We'll get there. We'll get there. You know what? I'm gonna dish this 3-man weave. I'm dishing it. KB, your thoughts on the game. The floor is yours, and then I'll give you my perspective on it. Go ahead, bud.
Yeah. Shocking. This was just after I gave permission to GP, by the way, to get back on the St. John's bandwagon and lead that train as the conductor. And my God, UConn fucked them up. 72-40. 72-40. Did not feel real, right?
I'm going to need the red E on this episode, Josh. Keep going.
Send me the fine. I mean, UConn's defense last season.
Description. That's the pullout quote from the episode.
Slid the tip. UConn's defense last season was a weakness, obviously. And, all offseason, Dan Hurley talked about trying to bolster that end of the floor specifically. And I think they really have done that. They're top 10 right now on defensive efficiency at Ken Pom, and holding St. John's to 40 points, I think was kind of the culmination of like a year-long quest for Hurley to try and get back to their defensive roots. St. John's just missed a ton of shots. I think it was largely because UConn's defense was amazing. But yeah, I mean, all the redemption for no escalators. They deserve it. UConn, that was stunning. That was stunning in every way.
It really was. The building was incredible. It's now People's Bank Arena. This used to be the XL Center. Shouts to the Hartford Civic Center now and forever, just like it will always be the Meadows. Real ones know what I'm talking about. But the crowd was like ready from the tip. Incredible environment. UConn wasn't messing around. They got off, 9-0? Before you knew it was like 21-11, then 25-11, then 31-11. And good thing about Hartford is Gamble, the press, they've now, it's all boosters and money people down on the floor. The press row used to be down there in Gamble till about COVID, and now we're all really high up, which is a cool vantage point, but you're not there on the floor. Hartford, you're still on the floor, and you're right next to the crowd, so you really kind of get enveloped by it in a very, very good way. And I was blown. I think that was the best crowd, and I've been to some big games in Hartford for sure. I think that was the best crowd I'd ever heard in Hartford. Honestly, they were ready. The game meant a ton. First place in the Big East. You got to win this to even have a chance to share the regular season title. All that, they get it done. A number of just jaw-dropping stats attached to this. So yeah, missed the final 24 field goals. Did not get a field goal for the final 17-28 of the game. I'm still waiting for someone to show me and tell me when was the last time this happened in a men's Division I game, any level. A team did not make a basket for at least the final 17 and a half minutes of a game. I'm sure it's happened at some point. I'd love to know when it did, because this is outrageous, man. This is arguably more impressive than the 30-0 run in the Elite Eight over Illinois. And yes, when I watch this game play out, it is fair to say you're getting some visions. You're getting some vibes. This is the UConn team that won back-to-back national titles. Yeah. And even when I talked to Hurley afterward, he even invoked some of that. Basically said, you see the way we're crashing the glass. You see the way we're playing defense. It's bringing back. This is how we played when we won those national titles. And yeah, they got it done. Here are the stats to know with the game. 40 points, fewest points by a Rick Pitino coach team in his career. He has coached 5 decades and more than 1,200 games at the D1 level. That's outrageous. UConn had never beaten St. John's by a bigger margin than it did on Wednesday night. UConn had never beaten a ranked team by a larger margin than it did at home, specifically, as 2 more larger ones. Those were both on the road. Home over a ranked team, that was the biggest one ever, period. It held St. John's to its worst first half showing shooting, first half showing points-wise in multiple years. St. John's shot 19.6% from the field. It's the worst shooting percentage by any team in any game this season. The worst. Period. St. John's tied the record for the fewest points in a Big East game in its history. That goes back to the late 70s and the formation of the league with the game against Notre Dame 13 years ago. Mike Bray hopped on Twitter to add an extra dunk on top of all of it. Bray was the coach of the team then. The 32-point loss was the worst for St. John's as a ranked team, period, since it got dropped by 35 against the Bonnies in 1960. In 1960, it's one after another. Terrace Reed Jr., 12 points, 11 boards, 6 blocks, 2 steals, 31 minutes. His best game as a Husky, became only the third UConn player ever to have at least 20, 10, and 5 blocks against a ranked opponent. Emeka Okafor, our own, did it 3 times, and Donovan Clingan did it twice. So it's one thing after another. Incredibly impressive by UConn. Straight up stunning by Rick Pitino and his team's lack of ability. Zubi Ejiofor did make himself available to the media afterward, bloody lip and all, basically said, yeah, we didn't see that coming. I've never experienced anything remotely like this. We were all kind of, fairly shocked that it went this way. St. John's got the first win, scored 80 plus. It scored more than double in the first meeting than what it did here on Wednesday. The win keeps UConn on the 1 line. And one of my big takeaways from my column on Wednesday was I do genuinely wonder, like, players, coaches, yes, they can sometimes close it up, throw it in the trash, let's move on, and it won't have any effect. This was so seismic and just jarring that does it just send these two teams in just different directions over the next month? I genuinely wonder. I think UConn's going to be the final 1 seed. I don't think UConn's going to lose again until we get to the NCAA tournament, and as a result, they're really no matter what happens around them, 3 losses, they're in command. I think they'll be the final 1. Can St. John's recover? It's got a game at home this weekend against Villanova that takes on suddenly increased significance. You dive into that resume, guys. Look at that resume. They've got the home win over UConn. That's nice. They've got the roadie against Villanova. That's nice. There's not a lot else there. So I almost feel like the Johnnies are in danger here of like 6-7 seed territory. And that matters because if you win your first game, the seed that you're ideally going to face in the second round, it gets much more difficult. I have a hard time right now envisioning myself riding St. John's into the second weekend of the tournament.
Imagine ranking a team preseason number 1 and then listening to everything you just said. That's a tough spot.
Good. I was wrong. I was wrong. They're not good.
What I said earlier is totally true, by the way. My little guy had indoor baseball practice the other night, and my job never comes up at baseball practice. I'm Lou's dad at baseball practice. Nobody at baseball practice has ever asked me about AJ DeBonsa or whether Memphis is going to make a coaching change or anything like that. But I was like, hey, we got the big TV up here on the wall. You got Peacock? Can we turn on Peacock? And they were like, yeah, what's going on? And I said, it's a big game. It's St. John's and UConn, top 15. And I'm dealing with a lot of people who probably know more than you can imagine about SEC football, but don't really care that much about Big East basketball, right? So we turned it on, and they said, the first thing, it was just funny. The first thing they see is the conference records on the screen, on the graphic, and they're like, "Oh, GP, these are good teams." And I said, "Yeah, this should be good." And so then the game starts, and they're like, "I thought you said this was going to be a good game," and I was like, "It was supposed to be. It was supposed to be. It was supposed to be." And then by the time we got to the second half, at some point when it's like they're up 30, I swear to God, one of the dads goes, "GP, has anybody ever beat UConn? Has anybody ever beaten this team?" And I said, yeah, sure. And he said, "Who?" And I said, "Actually, the other team." And
that happened.
And they were like, "How?" And I said, I don't know. I don't know how that happened. And they said, "I thought you were a college basketball analyst." And I said, "Yeah, that's just the title. I'm really just a talker." That's just the title.
The funniest thing about all of this, genuinely, is that Tuesday, I guess we taped it. We had to do 2 halftime shows for CBS Sports Network, and we had to pre-tape them. Okay, and because of our schedules, we just had to do it like a couple days ahead of time. And so one of the 2 shows we did was, okay, this is I think my idea. I was like, let's just pick 2 Final Four dark horses, and the caveat can't be that they're projected 4 seeds or they weren't in the bracket reveal last weekend. So I went with St. Louis, which proceeded to get just romped by Dayton within 24 hours. And the show had not aired yet. Let's be clear about this. And then Parrish lays out his case for St. John's.
Oh, no.
So imagine, for whatever reason in the world.
And then this all aired on Thursday. So by the time this actually was on CBS Sports Network, both of these teams were more than 24 hours removed of getting just downright dump trucked, which is amazing. And we were
Imagine-
talking as if it never happened, because when we recorded it, it hadn't.
Imagine you're watching CBS Sports Network on Thursday night, and you're like, oh, this is a nice basketball game. I like basketball. I hate Michigan State and Purdue. I want to watch this game instead. So you're watching that game, and it's like, and it's halftime, and here's the guys from the Ion College Basketball Podcast, and Brent Stover or Adam Zagua, and they're like, man, you got to watch the Ion College Basketball Podcast. These guys are great. Let's send it to GP and Norlander. And then I'm like, hey there, you know, and then Norlander, and then I'm like, hey, Norlander, the bracket preview was last week, 16 teams in it. Hey, everybody wants to talk about Final Four contenders. Let's talk about Final Four dark horse candidates. You got one? It wasn't in the bracket preview. And he's like, I want to talk to you about St. Louis. And then I'm like, that's a good one. That's a good one. I like the Billikens too. But have you been paying attention to St. John's? And there we are. Final Four.
Samsonite. I was way off.
So then imagine you're walking and you're like, you're watching and you're like, okay, St. John's and St. Louis. I wonder how they're doing. And St. Louis just got beat by 1 billion by Dayton, and St. John's got beat by 3 billion by UConn. That's the Ion College Basketball Podcast.
I'll stay.
Subscribe wherever you subscribe to podcasts like Apple and Spotify.
Do we need to talk about maybe? I honestly, I have no desire. But if you want to talk about the fact that I was,
I just want to see it again. It was funny.
You want to see it again? You want to show it again?
Josh,
I don't know if Josh has it. I imagine he probably does.
Such a serious face.
I mean, what is going on with you right there?
Concern, anger. Explain yourself.
I have
What's
since,
going on
I have
with you
since
right
gotten
there?
a haircut. I had my haircut scheduled before this, but even more so, that lettuce needed to get a chop here. Okay, St. John's loses the game. Rick Pitino doesn't go to the press conference. That's another deal altogether. And I'm dialed in. I'm listening.
You are dialed in.
I didn't realize, one, it was being videoed. Two, that this would wind up all over SportsCenter overnight. I got like 20 texts about this. I'm just listening. I'm keyed in. It's showing good body language and empathy toward a coach who just took on one of the most embarrassing losses of his entire career. Pitino spoke for all of 70 seconds and then took a beeline back into the locker room, which I wasn't a fan of. But yeah, and then yes, this image was all across.
In your head, you think you're looking at Rick Pitino. In my head, I'm just, because of a blizzard in New York City, I'm just stuck at home this week.
Yep.
To the detriment of everybody I live with, apparently. And I'm just sitting in my chair watching basketball. And my little guy, we've been fired up watching basketball all night. He fell asleep on the couch next to me, but I'm still up. And I'm just enjoying. And I'm like, in your head, you think you're looking at Rick Pitino. In my head, you're looking at me with disdain.
Yes.
That's what it looks like to me. I just
My disappointment. That's your preseason #1 coach, GP.
You looked up. I looked up from I was like, had a computer in my lap, and at some point I look up, and that's what I see. Exactly that. And I'm like, what the?
I know.
I really did have this moment.
Someone in the chat is saying that the lighting aged me, which is entirely correct. I don't feel like I look remotely that old, and my wife caught this, and she's like, what is with this face? I'm like, I don't know. Even the lighting, it looks like I have no chin here. It looks like my face just goes straight into my neck.
Red tie guy behind you is giving a pretty good look too.
That's St. John's SID. That
figures, yes.
Yeah, yes. That's not the best image for him either. So it goes. So there it is.
Shout out SportsCenter for the screenshot.
Correct. SportsCenter got the video. Credit to them.
Yep.
And they got it done entirely. KB, you got any thoughts here? I don't want to hog the mic from our buddy here.
KB, St. John's gets blasted by UConn.
Yeah.
How proud are you of yourself for not ranking them #1 in the preseason?
Nada is in the chat, by the way. Go ahead. I'm just realizing Nada is in the chat right now.
Nada's in the chat. Shout out to Nada. SportsCenter's in the chat. We've got Russ Steinberg in the chat. Thank you all for joining us.
He's a regular.
Yes. I'm very proud of myself for not ranking St. John's preseason #1. I will say that. I was ready to join the bandwagon. I thought they played pretty well of late. This is, again, a shocking result. Now would be an opportune time for me to note UConn, my preseason pick to win the national championship. Oh. I'm just saying. I'm going to stick with it. They may not be my pick currently. Don't listen to the last couple episodes I've been on. But UConn does look pretty good. And if you only watched them smashing St. John's brains in, then, yeah, I'm looking pretty good right now. Looking pretty good.
It's a tough spot. Look at you. You're just looking right at me. That's what I imagine being blurry-eyed late at night, and you look up, and then it's you just staring right at me.
And my phone was on Do Not Disturb, so I didn't know that this was on video. And then like your text and like I don't know 8 or 10 more start coming in, and I didn't know, so I'm like, this thing is on sport. I'm like I didn't even know how I looked, and then it was like, and then the screenshots came in, and then I didn't know how I looked. I left my blazer on the couch when I left because kids. I'm like, I got to get out of here. It's 3 days in a row. They haven't gone to school. You almost never see me even looking like that after a game. It's one heck of a memorable night in Hartford.
It almost looks like you have a beard, like just a beard straight down like a walrus.
You just look disappointed.
I don't know.
You just look disappointed in me.
I'm channeling my utter disappointment. I was proud of you for sticking to your guns and going preseason #1 on St. John's. Then you bailed on him, and then they brought you back in. And
you just don't get it, do you?
You just don't.
You don't.
I mean, are you done? Can we be done with the Johnnies, please?
I don't even care anymore.
Okay.
I don't even care anymore. I've given up. I've lost all hope. Hey, special shouts to John Fanta, too.
Good call. I obviously didn't hear it. I was at the game.
I think he had the call of his young career.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's all
Flew from Portland the night before on this show, GP. I said he wouldn't be on the game because he was in Portland doing an NBA thing. Next thing I know, he texts me at like 2 p.m. You coming tonight? I'm like, what do you mean? Yeah, you're not. He's like, oh, I'm overdue an apology. So good on him and good on a great call.
So he's got the call. It's this place will explode with a bucket here. It's almost like that Tiger Woods shot. Like they're going to go crazy when he hits this one. You know that one? It was almost like that. This place will explode with a bucket here. Up ahead to Mullins. Boom. And then he lays out perfectly. John Fanta, I can't pretend to know every call you've ever made and where you've made them. But based on my experiences, I'm going to call that your best call, your biggest moment of your young career to date. And he nailed it.
All right.
So I was happy for him. Congrats to John Fanta. He's blowing up in real time. He deserves everything he's getting. We ready for the Final Four and One?
Let's do it. We got a lot to get to. This is a loaded weekend.
Josh, get a word from our partners.
This is why we do this every March.
Major slam!
It is a basketball party.
It's March! Expect the unexpected!
All right, it's time for the Final Four and One. I had to get a charger down here.
Okay, like, what are we doing here? I mean, I can bring us back from break if you want.
I can tell you we're about to go dead if I don't plug this thing in. It's gonna be a two-man Eye on College basketball podcast if I don't plug in soon. It's time for the Final Four and One. Hey, Josh, turn your mic on.
Oh boy,
soften your voice. Tell me how good I am at this.
You're officially no better at this than Matt Norlander.
Loser.
You're officially no better than than Matt Norlander. How does that feel, GP?
Not great. Not great, but I ain't been feeling great for a little while, so just pile on, I guess.
What's the record? I couldn't tell you the record. I have no idea. I'm going to guess we're 9 games under 500 this season.
You guys are both 39, 41, and 1.
Wow. Oh, 2 games.
2 games.
Only 2. Picks on the internet. Best picks on the internet.
Okay.
I'll stay.
Let's go.
All right. Hey. Now, let me set the stage for you. KB picked every one of these games. It ain't got nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
And he picked more than you're supposed to.
Yep.
And I assumed
the graphic says there's 5 when there's 6.
And I assumed he was going to name the arenas, so I didn't. And
we
don't have
arenas.
names. So we will name these arenas in real time together.
Okay. I got 2 court names for the final 2, but let's get it rolling. Do you want to say, okay, you're going to say the games. I didn't know if we were going to let KB say the games. You can say the games.
KB would like to say the games.
No, GP. I'm just here. I'm a bystander.
Game 1, Saturday. It's noon Eastern. Number 11, Virginia at number 1, Duke. You want to name it, KB?
What's the arena?
What's the arena?
JJ Redick Arena.
It's JJ Redick Arena. I think it's JJ Redick Indoor Stadium. You can watch it on ESPN. KenPom has it.
Let's go.
It's Duke. It's Duke minus 9.5.
Come on, Duke.
KB, you're going first on every pick.
Big line. 2 best teams in the ACC. JJ Redick Indoor Stadium. I'm going to take Virginia plus the 9. Feels like a big number for a Virginia team that is 25-3 on the season. They've won 9 straight games. Cam Boozer was awesome earlier this week, 24, 13, and 2 in 24 minutes. Duke scored 100 points on Notre Dame. That was an absolute blowout. Virginia has the size, rebounding, shooting, defense. Their offense has been pretty efficient. I think they can keep this close. I don't think they can win, but I think they can keep it close. I will take Virginia plus the looks like 9.5. I'll take the plus 9.5 there.
Virginia hasn't beaten Duke since 22-23. That was an overtime win at home. That was technically more than 3 years ago, but 3 seasons ago in effect. This is by the way, if we get this going Saturday at noon with Virginia at Duke, let's go. Big time Saturday. Yes, KB did not pick. He did not pick the Michigan-Illinois Friday game. I'll include that at the tail end of this, but that is not in the Final Four and 2 this week. Direct your complaints to KB because he doesn't give an F anyway, so don't worry about that. If Virginia does win this game to 26-3, it is, the ACC has 2 legitimate Final Four contenders. Virginia can actually get potentially a 2 seed. The upside for Virginia in this spot in general is humongous. Do I think Virginia's going to win? No, I think it'll be inside the number. I'm expecting a really, really good competitive game. Wahoo's, they've got enough diversity in their offense, and they've done such a wonderful job this season. Their losses are, there was a loss to Butler on a neutral back the week of Thanksgiving. Okay, random one-off, new coach, new team. They're getting to know each other. Triple OT on the road against your rival in Virginia Tech on New Year's Eve. I'm going to excuse that one. And then they got beat by 5 at home against a healthy North Carolina team. That's it to this point. Virginia has been an outstanding team. Odom has been by far the best first-year high major hire of the 25-26 season. I really, really want to see Duke get pushed at home and give us a really good game here because I think that would be good for the ACC. I think it's probably good for Duke big picture. Duke is in command of the number 1 overall seed right now. It has overtaken Michigan at number 1 at KenPom in the past 36, 48 hours as well. I will take Duke at home, but I will take the Wahoos to cover the 9.5.
I think Duke wins the game. I will also take the points with Virginia. Duke on a 5-game winning streak, like you mentioned, number 1 in most places. Did you guys see the video that was on social media circulating from halftime of the Michigan game?
I loved it.
Loved it.
So awesome. Yes.
Loved it. And that is what every coach wants. Every coach you've ever talked to wants to just leave the room and let them handle that. Hey, I'll be here if you need me. Raise your hand and ask your question if you need me. But if you guys can figure this out on your own, oh, man, that's the best. I've said in so many practices, I've heard coaches say, why do I have to coach you right now? You know what to do. You know how to do it. Go do it. Why am I yelling? I should not have to yell at you right now. And that was like, that was a moment where I was like, and this is going to sound stupid because they're number 1 in most computers. Like, you know, the moment you should have been like, oh man, they really could do the whole thing. You know, when you should have thought that when they signed Cameron Boozer, like it should have been way back then. But that was a moment where like, okay, they got something special there. And it sort of echoed everything John said post-game Michigan when he was doing that interview. The question was something along the lines of, what did you learn about your team? And he's like, in the most humble way, he said, I didn't really learn anything. I know what I got. I know who these guys are. I know the team I'm coaching. And I thought that halftime video was just a beautiful illustration of that. That said something to me. Game 2, Saturday, 4 p.m. Eastern, number 16, Texas Tech at number 4, Iowa State. You can watch this one on CBS, America's Most Watched Network, Network of Stars. Iowa State -7.5.
Inside.
Yeah.
Melvin Edgem Coliseum.
Ooh, okay.
Texas Tech. 2-0 since losing JT Toppin, by the way. I know we probably got some crossover Bill Simmons listeners, some Ewing theory potential here. Texas Tech losing their best player. Still looking pretty good.
Having a moment?
It may be having a moment. Ewing theory, maybe. We're about to see some resurgence here. Texas Tech looks pretty good. And that's in part because Christian Anderson has been awesome all season. He's been awesome in Toppin's absence. 21-10 Saturday in the win versus Kansas State. 31 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists in the Cincinnati win. Iowa State hasn't lost at home this season. I think that probably continues, but I will take the points here with Texas Tech, the road underdog. plus the 7.5.
I'm going to go on record and say Texas Tech is not a better team without its best player.
By the way, I'm going to co-sign that, but they are undefeated without him.
The facts are the facts.
It has been
at least since he tore
actually that's kind of true, but he left the game and they lost against Arizona State, so I don't even know.
Since he tore his ACL and was not able to appear in the subsequent game starting lineup, they ain't lost. I guess that's one way to put it.
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. These teams have not met yet this season. If you have lost track, it's their only scheduled meeting. But with the way the Big 12 tournament could shape up, we could well see these two teams play each other in the next 2 weeks. Iowa State getting the game at home. I want to see how Tech shows up on the road in a big spot here, because this is the first road game without Toppin in full for a full 40 minutes. Road game against notable opponents for Texas Tech so far this season. Lost 81-77 back in November against Illinois. These are just true road games. Lost 69-65 close against Houston at the start of January. You want to call UCF a notable one? Lost at the Knights there. Couldn't pull that one out. And then Arizona won in OT 78-75. Of course, that was just a couple of weeks ago. By far the most notable one. It's on the road. It's tough to win, obviously, but they played close even against really good competition when they have been able to pull it out. See what they can do here. This feels like it might take a superhuman Christian Anderson effort for the Cyclones. 24-4 and jockeying with UConn for that final 1 seed. And a game like this feels like it has real consequence to that. You're basically fighting for the 1 seed in the South at this point. Oh, by the way, it's a plane ride from Ames, but nonetheless, just keep that in mind in general. Joshua Jefferson, this is the kind of game where I think, he can and will and should show up all the more to prove why he is a first-team All-American. And then can they take Milan Momcilovic kind of out of it as a 3-point threat? Way easier said than done. Just a term again, we are loaded on Saturday. This is such a perfect way to wrap up February. I got to take the Clones to win the game, but I'm going back-to-back road covers here. I'll take Tech on the road to be inside 7.5.
24-4 for Iowa State. They're fourth in the top 25-1 right now. That means I would have them as the fourth number 1 seed right now. But they are just 8-4 in their past 12. So, that's 8-4 in their past 12. It is what it is. I'll take them here. I just think JT Toppin missing is Texas Tech has, I give Grant and Christian Anderson and everybody else connected to that credit. They've done well since this devastating season-shattering thing happened to them. It's just heartbreaking. I mean, I think most of people assume JT Toppin will wear a Red Raiders uniform again, maybe not for 2 years, but again at some point. But you've got a season that's got so much potential, and it feels like it's just ripped away from you, just randomly in Arizona after midnight on the East Coast in the middle of the week a few weeks ago. They've done well in his absence, but this is tough. Nobody's wanted Hilton this season other than Iowa State. I think that probably continues on Saturday. I'll lay the points. Game 3 Saturday, 4 p.m. Eastern. Number 14 Kansas at number 2 Arizona. KB, what you got?
We're playing this inside Channing Frye Memorial Center.
Inspired picks here, buddy. I love this. All right.
Channing Frye Memorial. Okay.
Yeah.
Kansas.
Just kill Channing Frye. Just kill Channing Frye on a Friday morning. The world
is a vampire.
Kansas is 3-2 in their last 5 games. 2 of those wins, Houston and Arizona, obviously top 5 teams. Zona's won 3 straight after taking 2 consecutive losses. That's their only 2 losses on the season. I think Arizona gets this done. I don't feel good about taking them minus the 8.5, but they've been playing really well. Anthony Delorso, Braden Burries have been really big in the stretch. Not exactly sure what Kansas is going to get from Darren Peterson night in, night out. That has been the case here over the last 2 months, really. Kansas has been a little bit inconsistent shooting it as well. I will take Arizona inside Channing Frye Memorial to get the win and the cup.
I should set the record. Channing Frye is 42 years old.
Yeah. He's younger than me.
He's still alive. He's alive.
He's still very much alive. Born on May 17th, 1983 in White Plains, New York. I can't tell you how many mornings I used to spend standing outside White Plains Airport, freezing, waiting for them to open the door.
Efficient airport, though. Big fan of White Plains Airport.
I almost took my own life in that place 7 times.
Completely unnecessary. Okay, these teams played, as a reminder, and it wasn't that long ago. And guess what? Kansas won. When Kansas won, what happened? Arizona took its first loss of the season, took back-to-back losses. Then the Tech loss at home came after that. Arizona's won 3 in a row. Kansas will go for the sweep here. Arizona with a win locks up number 1, Big 12. It's a wrap if it can do it. Game's on its home floor. I think a win is going to be in store here. Just a wonderful matchup. And let's go under Darren Peterson, 29.5 minutes. What do you guys got?
Under
29.5. GP, what do you got?
I'm going over. I think he is now very aware of how his reputation has been damaged. I think he and his people now understand whatever it is you guys were dealing with, you have not approached it the right way. People need to see you. Just like Bill Self said. Bill Self said, you want to change the narrative? Here's how you do it. Finish games.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think he's now on the finish games mission. I think he now understands if I'm not the number 1 pick in this draft, it is because people don't know what kind of competitor I am, what kind of teammate I am, if I can play through things. And I'm going to spend these next however much time I got left. I'm going to spend it trying to show people those things that every podcaster in college basketball has been talking about. Those things are not legitimate concerns going forward. I think he's on that mission now. I think he goes over 30 minutes.
I'll be optimistic too. I'll say over 30. Mark me now for a 32-minute day for Peterson here. I checked in on the Koa Pete situation early in the week. I mean, I'd love to be wrong and things to change. I don't think he's expected to play in this game. And if Tommy Lloyd said something at availability in the past, like, X amount of hours and actually cleared that up, my bad. But I'm not expecting Koa Pete to play in this one. Him not being on the floor, obviously, it brings Arizona down just a little bit. You've got Flory Badunga on the other side. You've got actually elite defenders all over the floor in this game. The previous game was 82-78. I kind of feel like the winning team isn't hitting 80 in this one. See if I'm wrong. As always, Braden Burries and Jaden Bradley coming off of just an impressive performance on Tuesday night in the road win, a well-earned road win against the Baylor team that's not going to make the NCAA tournament. How do they respond here against the Kansas group on the road? Can you coalesce into something that is like, okay, we're at tough spot, tough opponent. What can we get from Council? What is like Bryson Tiller in this spot? How does he show up? Really, really intriguing. Good game. That line, as a reminder, is 8.5. I'm like dooming myself to a 1-4 week. I am you know what? No, I'm going to flip this. I want to say Kansas. I'm going the opposite. Arizona wins and covers. Yeah. GP?
I'll take Kansas plus the points, but Arizona wins the game. Game 4, Saturday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Oh, this is going to be fun. I'm going to have a party. Number 20, Arkansas at number 7, Florida. KB, what you got?
It's inside Matt Bonner Center.
Okay, the Matt Bonner Center.
Yes.
Is he alive or do you want to kill him or not?
Alive.
It is alive. It is just the center. We've not memorialized it yet.
Okay, good. Matt Bonner alive and kicking. You can watch this one on ESPN. Florida minus 9.5.
Minus 9.5. That is. It seems like a big number. I'm going to take Arkansas to cover the points. I think Florida gets the win. Florida's 2 games up in the SEC race. They can kind of put this conference regular season race away with a win. Arkansas, one of the 2 teams that is back 2 games in the SEC standings from Florida. Florida's playing pretty well. I feel like there is another level this Gators team can hit. They haven't quite hit it yet, and yet they've won 8 in a row. They've been very, very good at home this season. I think they get the win and do it, let's say, 83-77, something like that.
Got a whole bunch of one-time only meetings in this week's Final Four and 1. Virginia and Duke, first meeting. Tech, Iowa State, first meeting. Arkansas, Florida, first meeting, only scheduled meeting. Arkansas, just like Virginia with Duke, has not defeated its opponent this weekend since the 22-23 season. Gators get this one at home. Big-time front court performance. This is a game with talent all over the floor, and so in my opinion, the possibilities for how it will play out are numerous. Gators now have gotten up to top 5 in KenPom defensive efficiency. Still number 1 at Torvik since January 1 is the most efficient overall team in college basketball. Oh, by the way, its chances at a 1 seed still on the table as far as I'm concerned. Going to need to run the table. That includes a roadie against Kentucky next weekend to wrap the regular season. Let's deal with the here and now. You got Arkansas coming into your building with Darius Acuff, who is a first-team All-American right now at this point. He is. I honestly don't think it is refutable from a statistical standpoint. And when you combine the stats and you actually watch the games and you see what this dude is doing and you see how talented he is and what he is doing to uplift Arkansas to the kind of team at this stage of the season, 21-7, I get it. Arkansas has been reliable for a loss like every 7 to 12 days. But if you're watching the games and seeing how he is willing Arkansas to victory, and he's not doing it by himself. He's got talent all around him. Trevin Brazile, Carter Knox, unfortunately, has faced some injuries. Malik Thomas has moments where he can pop. Obviously, I think Nick Pringle's actually been a very undervalued member of this team, but it is Acuff's team. He is one of the best and most talented freshmen John Calipari has ever coached. We don't have the time to rank it, but he's knocking on the door of top 5 if he's not already there at this point. I expect this to potentially be the best, most competitive 40-minute game of the weekend. The line being Florida 9.5 to me is too big. I know the Gators have been on fire. I love Florida's prospects going into March. I have to take the Hogs inside 9.5.
Please tell me you guys saw Darius Acuff's SportsCenter interview the other night.
Yes.
I did not. If this was Wednesday, all the more I didn't because I was obviously in Hartford.
It was hilarious. They bring him on, and every question is like, so we know you've had an ankle issue, and you've been playing through it. What is it about you that makes you want to play through things, even though you're a projected top 10 pick? He was just like, well, I just want to be there for my teammates if I can be there for my teammates. And they were like, and then the next question is like, so we know you're a projected top 10 pick and you have to keep a mind on your draft stock, but like, what is it about you exactly that makes you want to play through this? It was like they were like, I was waiting for the next question to be, so it's pretty clear you're not Darren Peterson.
Yes.
Why are you not Darren Peterson? It was LOL. And by the way, every answer was perfect.
It was.
They were like throwing him alley-oops and he was boom, boom. He was nailing every one of them. He was like, I don't care about my draft stock. I care about the Razorbacks. Woo pig. I mean, it was perfect. And so I hate not being at work this week in New York because of the blizzard. I couldn't get there. But one of the great things about not being at work this week is I've got to sit at home and just watch college basketball with my boys every night. We've watched every night. And by the time it was done Wednesday, my boys were like, Dad, you going to FedEx Forum tomorrow? Of course. Can you get us an Acuff Grizzlies jersey? I said, I think probably you can get them to make one. They're like, yeah, let's get it, Darius. We're all in on Darius Acuff over here. All right. Then last night, swear to God, we're watching Michigan State Purdue, and my little guy, we're coming home for baseball practice. We're streaming it in the car. I don't know whether you're supposed to stream games in the car on your ride home or not, but that's what we were doing. I'm just trying to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. And my little guy, he goes, so Dad, if you could have Darius Acuff or Darren Peterson, which one would you have? I said, son, I don't know anymore. I used to think I know, but I don't know anymore. And he said, do you think they'll get one of them, the Grizzlies? And I said, I don't know that either. We're going to have to wait on the lottery. And this was the next thing he said. He said, well, Dad, if we don't get Darren Peterson or Darius Acuff, keep in mind we're watching Michigan State Purdue. He goes, we could get Braden Smith.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah. He said, what would you think about that? I said, I'd be very happy for Braden Smith. But, son, let's not talk like that right now. Okay? Let's not talk about that right now. So it's been fun. I'm taking Arkansas plus the points for my boys. Game 5 Saturday, 10:30 p.m. Eastern. Number 9 Gonzaga. It's the end of an era.
It is.
It's at St. Mary's.
Yep.
KB, you can name this. I know what I would name it. What would you name it?
I'm going to name it Jock Landale Pavilion.
You had an opportunity to say Omar Samhan.
I thought Samhan was coming. Matthew Dellavedova Court, by the way, always, just so we're clear.
That's fine. You can watch this one on ESPN. Gonzaga, the Zags, -1.5. It's the end of an era. We will never, after Saturday night, have a West Coast Conference regular season like the one we just had.
End of an era.
End of an era. Let's have a moment of silence.
We don't have time for that, by the way. This show is running over, GP, just as a heads up. Oh, my gosh. That bald's got some shine on it right now. Look at you.
It looks good. Looks good.
They don't powder you before you get on camera over here at Grind City Media.
Nope. No powder there.
Up at the broadcast center, they got Jules and Kim and everybody's up there. Down here, I'm on my own.
Yep. No powder. All right, KB. Thoughts on the game?
I'm taking Gonzaga here. Gonzaga minus the 1.5. Gonzaga really not been fully healthy for very many games this season. And yet they're 28-2, pushing for 30-plus wins going into the postseason, going into the NCAA tournament. They can get to 29 wins in the regular season with a win here. I think they get it. I think it's going to be a close one. St. Mary's playing pretty well right now, but I do think Gonzaga goes on the road, knocks off a St. Mary's team that has won 7 consecutive games.
I'm going to cherish this game. I'll be in studio Saturday night for CBS Sports HQ. I have loved the St. Mary's Gonzaga games, regardless of the venue, over the past 15 plus years. St. Mary's has leveled up and been an appropriate foil to Gonzaga in that conference. Gonzaga is going to go to the reborn back to Pac-12. I really want to see these two find a way to schedule home and homes. Don't know if they can, don't know if they will. And frankly, just for the spirit of it all, the WCC schedule is not going to change. The WCC always has its regular season end at the end of February. I'd love these two teams to mix in a non-con February game, home and home. That'd be really cool because always seeing them play in this month, there's always a lot of big stakes around it. I'll take it in a lot. I love that we're getting this game in particular when both these teams are really, really good. If you're unfamiliar, St. Mary's kind of sitting like on the 8 line right now, as far as I'm concerned, and they get Gonzaga in their building with a chance to send them off on a really powerful finish on the St. Mary's side. I'm going straight up. I'm going Gales here. No huff for Gonzaga. Gonzaga has been sitting between 8-13, 8-14 in predictive metrics for the majority of the season. This season, that gym, and it is a gym. It is a tiny building. It seats 3,500 folks. It's going to be probably in a weekend filled with amazing games. I think that's going to be the best environment of the weekend, given the stakes. Everyone knows what it means. There's been huge wins for that program in that building over the Zags in the past. Yeah. St. Mary's, Randy Bennett, straight up win and get to 27-4 in the process. Seed line bump to the 7 line coming out of the weekend for the Gales.
Since 1998, the Zags have won at least a share of all but 4 WCC regular season titles. In 2000, Pepperdine won one. Since then, St. Mary's, 2012, 24, 25. So the only school to win a WCC title, even a share of it, in the regular season since 2000, it is Gonzaga, St. Mary's. That's it. And it's Gonzaga almost always. It just feels like they should get the outright title on their way out the door. Doesn't it?
You can make the case, but I'm going Gales.
I'm taking the Zags on the road. They exit the WCC with an outright conference championship. Game 6
and 2.
It's the Final 4 and 2 today. I don't know. We couldn't settle it for 5. I don't know why. Game 6 Sunday, 1:30 p.m. Eastern. Number 13 Michigan State at Indiana. You can watch this one on CBS. KenPom has it Michigan State -4. KB, it's at Indiana. You can name it whatever you want.
Yeah, they're going to be playing this one inside Steve Alford Hall.
That's fair.
Steve Alford Hall. Michigan State -4. By the way, we actually included Michigan, Illinois in this, but had to cut them. We had to include Gonzaga, St. Mary's. Michigan State, Indiana. Man, this is a tough one. Indiana playing at home.
Is it tough, though?
It might be tough. Backs against the wall. This feels like a obvious Michigan State spot, but feels like it could be a Michigan State letdown given how they played. All signs point to Michigan State in this game. That said, I'm going to take Indiana to cover. I'm going to take Indiana straight up. Let's go.
Okay.
Hoosiers.
We're on the same page. Indiana. Straight up. Big win for the Hoosiers. They come off the loss to Northwestern at home. Darren DeVries has life. Kurt Signetti take a walk. Hoosiers are back. They're dancing on the bubble. They're right on the fence. They get it done on America's Most Watched Network and find a way to narrowly win, and I like them to cover. Big time. Yeah, I'm on the Hoosiers.
I went and pulled out all my Indiana facts. You I don't know if you remember my Indiana facts. I got some. They haven't finished top 25 at KenPom since 2016. I think I've been you know how long I've been saying that?
since 2017.
Yeah.
At least. Haven't finished ahead of Purdue in the Big Ten standings since 2016. Hadn't made the Elite Eight since 2002. Hadn't won a national title since 1987. I'm taking Michigan State minus the points.
All right, so you got Sparty to win. All right, real quick tour around the weekend, and then we got to wrap the show. GP, we're going over. I'm just telling you right now, you're not going to end ending the show. He's got his guys Memphis show. Miami University, let's go to 29-0 Friday night here, 6 Eastern at Western Michigan. Obviously, that's a big one. Michigan at Illinois, 8 Eastern on Fox on Friday. Huge game. Very, 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 very big game. Another big one there. We'll be dialed in and ready for that. And then Saturday,
I plan on my boys falling in love with Keaton Wagler a little later on tonight.
Let's go. Yes.
Just for fun, not for the Final Four and 1. Who do you guys got in that one?
I'm taking Michigan. Yep.
GP.
I'm taking Keaton Wagler in the spirit of getting some Keaton Wagler Grizzlies jerseys custom made tomorrow morning.
I will take Illinois. I cannot wait for that game. This is a phenomenal weekend. Real quick on Saturday, I'll be in CBS Sports HQ studios all evening, late into the night. Look for me there as you dial in on tons of hoops. 2 Eastern CBS, San Diego State, New Mexico, double bubble. 2 Eastern ESPN, Vandy at Kentucky, plenty tasty. 2 Eastern ESPN2, Louisville at Clemson. 4 Eastern ESPN2, double bubble. Texas at Texas A&M. 5:30 Eastern Fox, BYU at West Virginia. Just keep an eye on it. 6 Eastern Alabama at Tennessee. 8 Eastern, Fox, Villanova at St. John's. Those are what to know. And now we get to the big stuff here. It's time. It's time to do it. I guess I'll say it. Kyle Boone is leaving us this weekend. He is going to log a few more hours over the weekend on this final weekend of February. It's been 9 years at CBS Sports. It was, 3 weeks ago that we wrapped the podcast. He called me not so long thereafter, floored me, broke the news. We're going to let you talk a lot, Boone, and you're going to have to talk a lot here, but I'm going to get us going here. I hate that we're losing you. I understand, I understand why, but I wish we weren't. You are sincerely the nicest colleague I have ever had in my entire life. A wonderful dude. For anyone that listens to the show and has taken in this podcast and read Kyle Boone's work over the near decade he's been with us at CBS Sports, the best teammate, always uplifting, just a wonderful person to have in your organization. And I'm genuinely bummed, man. Like, this has kind of hit me on the level of, we've been fortunate at CBS Sports and kind of in our writing hut, if you will, with the college basketball team where, we've had changes over the years. We'll try and get to Vicini before the end of the show, but we're running out of time. We don't tend to lose a lot of folks, every so often here and there it happens, but this is one where it's like, it's a gut punch for sure. So, we knew we had to have you on the show, and the show we have done here has been one of my favorite shows of this entire season, like easily. We've had a blast, didn't know what to expect, but, yeah, man, we're going to miss you dearly. I'll let you decide if you want to kind of reveal, what's next for you or not. But you're not going to see him on another college basketball podcast, folks. That's not what's happening here. I'm going to toss it to Parrish first, and then KB can take the mic.
We should, for the sake of transparency, point out, because it's a weird media climate now.
Yes,
this is Kyle Boone's decision.
Correct.
Hey, we'd keep him as long as we could if it was up to me. And if it was up to CBS, he is, I'll let him explain, found an opportunity that he thought was too good to pass up. And so when Norlander says he's bummed, I get that. I am too, selfishly. But separate from that, I'm excited for you and happy for you, because you're running off to an incredible opportunity that's going to – I hate losing you. I've lost teammates, as Norlander described you before. I will say that not every time, I don't want to lie to you, but in my experiences, I've been doing this a long time now. You can probably tell from my head. When people voluntarily leave this life
for another lifestyle. They have real reservations. They do not know if they're making the right decision.
Mm-hmm.
Almost always, when they look back on it, they think that they did.
Yeah.
Almost always. I can't promise you'll be that, but the odds are in your favor. So I know you're conflicted. I would be too. But I bet when we talk a year from today, you're gonna wonder how you lived the life you were living as opposed to regret the life you're now living. And so in that way, I'm happy for you and excited for your family. And as I was thinking through this last night, like, okay, so what do you say? I think Norlander touched on the most important thing. Obviously, you're great at your job. You can string words together. You could talk. You can do all the things you need to do this. If I ran a media company, I'd be trying to talk you out of what you're doing. But the best thing about you is that you're the best colleague. You're the best teammate. We work with a lot of people. I really do consider myself lucky. I mean this sincerely. There is not a person I work with closely or a person I work for that I don't enjoy. I'm fortunate in that way.
I agree with that entirely, by the way.
I don't hate my bosses.
Yep.
None of them. I don't hate my coworkers. None of them. I can't tell you that's always been true, but I can tell you it's been true for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, if I were ranking people, and I shouldn't, but man, I'd put you right at the top. You're just a delight to be around. You make people feel better. And when I got that call from you, like I said hello, and you were like, hey, are you sleeping? Because you knew I was in New York and it's the middle of the day, and I probably am. And I lied to you. I said no, but I was. And but I honestly, I didn't know if it was like an emergency. And so I just was like, and then we talked through it. And yeah, I was bummed when I got the news, but then I quickly moved to, this is going to be great for you. It's going to be great for your wife. It's going to be great for your children. And I hate to lose you, but I couldn't be more excited for you. And your next employer is they're getting a special person, man. I mean that sincerely.
Thank you. Yeah, it's bittersweet for sure. We've been talking about players starting and not finishing games. I'm starting a season. I'm not finishing it. I feel like a little bit of a hypocrite leaving just before March Madness, but it's tough. I love my job, as you've noted, GP. Like, I love everyone I work with. I love you guys. And I definitely don't have like the meaning of life figured out, I would say. But, for me personally, over the last couple of years, dealing with, COVID, sickness with my daughter, I've had, cancer twice. I found that for me to flourish emotionally and professionally, I need to be around people, and I need to work for something that brings me meaning and purpose. And so for me, getting a chance to get my nights back, get my weekends back with my family. We have a third kid on the way in June, which we're thrilled about, obviously. And so I'm excited to be in an office, to work around people, to be able to spend more time with our family. I'm going to coach my daughter's basketball team on Saturday mornings. I'm really excited about that. And I'm going to work for a school district here locally that, I'm born and raised in Tulsa. And so I think I'll find some meaning in being able to share stories from a diverse school district where I was born and raised. And it's going to be tough. It's this is an amazing job. I've had some amazing opportunities. Being able to take time off when I was going through chemo, getting encouragement from you guys when I was going through tough times. I know that you guys both know this, but I love you both. I appreciate you very much. I could tell stories all days, but I remember in 2021, after I had my cancer recurrence, I was doing week-long stints of chemo in the hospital. And this was during the height of the Delta wave of the pandemic. And it was the toughest, time of my entire life. I'm locked away. The only person who could even come and see me was my wife. And she had the kids at home. So, there's only so much she could be able to do for me. And I remember you guys gave me a small segment on the show, and someone had sent it to me. Maybe it was Norlander, someone had sent it.
Yeah, Parrish doesn't remember this, so refresh his memory.
Yeah, and it was basically just like, hey, good luck. We're thinking about you. We love you. We're sorry you're going through this. And it was just a small gesture that meant a lot. I can't tell you how much it lifted my spirits at that time. Norlander would send me a custom playlist on Spotify that I could listen to. GP always checked in. I would
have sent you a custom play. I just don't know how to do that. I'm sorry. I would have loved to have done it. I just don't know how.
That is Norlander's love language, is sharing music. So I appreciated that. That helped me get through so many tough times. And it's been an honor being part of a great team who, I consider you guys to be friends. And again, it is tough. I don't feel like, it's hard to feel like you're making the right decision when you love a job this much, but I do believe that this is best for me. And so I'm going to miss you guys. I'm going to miss everyone in the Ion community. And yeah, we'll stay in touch. I'll continue pestering everyone in the chat and do my thing. So
GP, GP's got to go in a second here. This is typical podcast fashion. We're just not going to be able to end this all three of us at the same time. So GP and KB, you guys wrap here, and then I'll land the plane after you got to hop off. GP.
All right. Yeah, you guys can take it from here. I'll go talk about lottery odds and stuff like that. I'll spend the next couple hours talking about lottery odds and stuff like that. But buddy, you know how I feel about you. I love you. I'm happy for you. I hate that we're going to lose you, but I'm happy for you. And I know when we consistently check in moving forward, you're going to look back on all of this and I think cherish everything that all of us have done together, but really be appreciative of this step that you're taking for you and your family. So congratulations on a big move, and I'll see you guys later.
Thanks, brother. Love you.
We'll talk to you on Sunday night here. By the way, today's album behind me, Coldplay, Rush of Blood to the Head. This is my favorite Coldplay record. I gave KB an option. I said, what do you want behind me? Give me your top 5 favorite bands / artists. Coldplay was the only one I had a vinyl record of. So this is big time album. I would say Politic, Warning Sign, maybe my 2 favorite on that album there. So I appreciate you. I hadn't dropped Coldplay behind me in a minute there.
I love it. Classic.
I want to let the audience know that Kyle Boone this is not his last podcast appearance. It's just not going to be. We will see. I am not going to ask this guy to do a pop in during the tournament at 12:45 Eastern after the first Friday of the tournament. But if we can, and the schedules do align, I want to get you on at least once next month, provided it's not too far out of your comfort zone. Does that sound like a plan to you?
That absolutely sounds like a plan. I'm looking forward to following the tournament, not covering it. It's going to be weird. I'm still like a huge college basketball fan. I'm just like all the us's. I'm not a them. I'm just an us.
Yes.
And so I've been privileged to have the elevation of being a small part of the Ion universe, of the CBS team. It's been a dream job, truly. And it's just a different part of life. I'm excited to be able to spend a little bit more time with my family, and this is all good news. And again, I appreciate you letting me have a few words here at the end of the show.
No, without a doubt, man. And I'm very, very happy for you that in the next stage here, you're going to get more time with your family. Like the jobs we have, it's a lot of sacrifice. It just is. But you have to make time. You got to make time for your family, and the fact that you will not have to have your Saturdays and or Sundays occupied during college basketball season and can do what you need to do and be able to live a more comfortable life. I completely get it. But I meant every word I said. I love you, man. Like you've been a wonderful teammate. And when KB came aboard, we lost Sam, who went to
he's still on.
He's still on. We'll see if we can get to him. Maybe we try and do you, me, and Vicini on a pod during the tournament.
There we go.
Maybe we could try and truly get that going there. Sam's obviously gone on to do tremendous work as well. wasn't an easy role to fill. You did it beautifully. You've been a wonderful guy to hop on and talk on the pod with, no matter the time of year, basically. And I just want people to know, like, I want to reinforce it. Like, your job and who you work with and the people that you're surrounded with, it can really have major impacts on just your day-to-day and week-to-week and month-to-month enjoyment. And Kyle Boone here, at the very top of the list. Like, it just, no question, no doubt about it. And always just, a burst of positivity, wanting to know how you're doing, trying to shine some real light on others. And the biggest bummer of all of this, and I do agree with you, like, our jobs and the nature of this is we do work remotely. Like, so I don't get to see you in person a lot. And since COVID, we haven't been able to do our college basketball summits in the summers. And those were always real highlights of what we were able to do. And that stuff just doesn't happen as much anymore. So getting to see folks at the Final Four, that's the other thing. Like, Boone was going to go to the Final Four, but he is giving this up to take a better job, to give himself a chance at what will be, a better life with his and his family. I get it, but I'm not going to see you in Indianapolis, buddy. That's just,
I know. I was really looking forward to it.
Yes.
Wasn't able to go to the Final Four last year. Was planning on going this year. Was excited for Indy. So yeah, I'll be there in spirit. I hope you guys FaceTime me from one of the parties.
Well, as long as you
night.
want it, yes, we will.
Yes,
And
yes.
one thing that hasn't been said yet that needs to be said is that you are a very, very good writer, and I know you know that, and I know our editors know that. You have you multifaceted, wore a number of hats, did a wonderful job doing draft coverage. But if anyone didn't read what Boone wrote a year ago when he went to Green Bay on Doug Gottlieb, it must read award-winning level stuff, like tremendous stuff, unquestionably. So, it's not just losing a great teammate; it's losing a very, very talented writer, someone who brought so much to our team. And yeah, man, I hate to lose you, but I'm very, very happy for you. And I'm all the happier that on some show, unexpected, the audience won't know when it's coming. This is not his last appearance. He'll be back on. We'll talk more ball, but I appreciate everything that you've done for us, for CBS, and how you've made my life better and been a great friend. But I can't wait to see you again. And the weird thing is, I don't know when that'll happen. I
know. And I think the last time I saw you, you had a bad back and I jumped on your back. And,
that did happen. Yes.
So that I hope that is a lasting memory for you, that I made you deal with excruciating back pain.
There was also that, and then there was also the we will not reveal one of the sources that I was talking to, so we will not indicate that person on the show.
Yes,
but you were at the Final Four, and we did the 1:30 local time. Arizona Calipari is going to leave Kentucky to go to Arkansas. And I unexpectedly ran into a source, and I was talking to them being like, hey, listen, I'm hearing this is really possible. This might happen. And so we're getting information. And I mean this, like, I don't care whatsoever. But as we're in the process of doing it, KB just strolls right in and just goes right into the conversation. I was like, oh, what's up, dude? Just trying to firm up if the biggest headline of college basketball is actually going to be a thing here in the next hour or two. That was a very funny memory after that.
It took so much courage just to walk up and introduce myself to this unnamed person, only to immediately realize that I was in the middle of a very serious and discreet conversation. So yeah, that was a good memory for sure.
That was an all-timer. And that pod I did with you late night. I mean, it was late from my hotel room. Man,
sitting on my lap.
That's like that's genuinely one of my 5 to 10 favorite podcast episodes we've ever done. And I was exhausted, but we needed to do it. And it wound up being that download was, and views and all that stuff was one of our all-timers as well. So
not surprised. Yeah.
Love you. Appreciate
you. Thank you.
Folks, find him on social wherever you are on social. Kyle the Boone on Twitter, Instagram, whatever. Just let him know you appreciated everything he did, because he absolutely deserves it. He is working tomorrow. He'll be getting a few more words in, one more long shift, and then it's on to a new life. But you're not leaving our lives, man. We'll stay in touch frequently, and I look forward to crossing paths here. Any last words before I wrap the show?
No more. Thank you so much for giving me the chance to talk. And thank you everyone who's commented. Thank you everyone who's supported me over the years, either reading my work or giving me encouragement through sickness. All of it is truly appreciative. And this has been an exciting time. This has been a moment where I can kind of reflect on like the goodness that has been the last 9 years, and just thankful, leaving with gratitude, and hopeful that the next step will be a lot of fun for me and my family. So thank you.
Absolutely, bud. And I look forward to talking to you again on this podcast at some point.
Absolutely.
In March. Our next show will be Sunday, that Michigan State Indiana game around 3:45 Eastern tip on CBS. We haven't decided when we'll go live. This is my reminder here. If you subscribe to the YouTube channel, CBS Sports College Basketball, and we've had a nice pop here. Click the bell when we go live. If you want the mobile alert, real time, get that done. Please leave reviews for the show. We very much appreciate that. We're about to hit a spike in viewership and listenership because March is arriving, so we expect that. But we like the folks that are here with us 12 months a year to continue to support and give us some good reviews. So we'll be back on Sunday night, and I don't typically do the shouts, but this is my one right here. That's a show. Shouts to the one and only Kyle Boone.